The latest iteration from the Predator franchise comes in the likes of Prey, the next installment in the franchise that will focus on the first steps the Predators have made on planet Earth. A movie that'll bring a new point of view to the franchise, and with so much news at hand, today we're gonna talk about some changes that would and should happen when this movie comes out, and the aftermath of it all. Setting. Before we go into detail about the bits and pieces about the movie, which will be very significant to the story going forward, we're gonna reflect upon the setting of the movie as it's the most crucial part of the entire movie. With everything revolving and somehow being connected to it, the fifth installment of the franchise will explore the alien species first to visit Earth. In 2020, Prey was revealed to be the next film in the Predator franchise, with Amber Midthunder cast in the lead role. The history of the Predator franchise has been an interesting one. The original first movie released in 1988, which saw Arnold Schwarzenegger in the lead role, a movie which quickly became a box office hit that led to the 1991 sequel, Predator 2. After which a 13-year gap happened, with the next iteration coming out in 2004, Alien vs. Predator, and the one following in 2007, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. The 2018's The Predator by Shane Black was supposed to be a big-budget revival of the brand, but it fizzled out at the box office. Thus, the producers had to find a way to make The Predator click with the modern audience, and it seems like they found a new interesting angle, one that will take audiences back to the beginning where it all started. In an interview with Collider, producers John Davis and John Fox teased what is to come in the future for the franchise, with Fox comparing the movie more in tone with The Revenant, with Davis elaborating that this movie will follow the Predator's first journey to Earth. However, the period is still unknown. The first Predator encounter on Earth raises a lot of questions on where the movie fits in the timeline when compared with the others. Alien vs. Predator established that the Predators had contact with Earth and that they were worshipped as gods by cultures like the Egyptians, Mayans, and Khmer Empire. However, the canon timeline has been ignored in both Prometheus and the Predator, so it's safe to say that they exist in their separate universe. Predator 2 featured the creature giving Danny Glover's character a flintlock pistol dated 1715, suggesting Predators have had contact with humans as far back as the early 18th century. All in all, when we look at the upcoming movie from the Predator franchise, it seems like the fifth iteration of the franchise will take a similar approach as what Prometheus did for the Alien series. If Prey is a success, it could lead to future Predator movies being more period pieces that explore various human encounters with the Predator. And next up, we're going to talk about what the Prey movie needs to do in terms of changes, which would eventually go on to sort of reboot the franchise for any future movies to come. Prey reveals. Slowly but surely, we got to the good stuff. In his tweet announcing that he's directing Predator 5 aka Prey, Dan Trachtenberg referenced the fact that he had been keeping the movie in secret and had a plan for how the project would be revealed that didn't involve an announcement in deadline, and fans were quick to begin putting the pieces of Dan's plan together. In 2019, it was reported that Dan was working on a project titled Skulls, with a story, as we said before, following a Comanche woman who goes against her gender norms and traditions and wants to become a warrior. This announcement alone didn't raise any eyebrows, but when the public got the confirmation of Dan is attached to the Predator 5 movie, many sites speculated that Skulls was likely just a codename for the fifth installment of the Predator franchise, and we were right, with the movie now officially titled Prey. Moving on from the previous title called Skulls, now considering how all the other movies have taken place in modern settings, it's easy to see how, if marketed correctly, audiences wouldn't immediately guess a movie about an indigenous woman set in the past was the latest entry in the franchise. 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was revealed on the official Predator Twitter account that the next entry in the Predator franchise will be Prey, a movie set some 300 years ago in the world of the Comanche Nation. The announcement also came with the first image showing off a female Comanche warrior with a bow and arrow and a hunter stalking her from behind. The announcement also managed to get the attention of the audience, pushing more and more subscribers to the Hulu streaming platform, where the movie will release sometime in 2022. With this in mind, we already have at least a portion of what is to be expected from the movie, but the main plot is still in the shadows, which is understandable knowing that we would not even budge an eye at looking at the movie, right? Predator's next steps of improvement. We can safely say that even though the franchise has been around for more than 30 years by now, It's in a weird place in today's world, a mixed bag so to speak. Fortunately, this new entry in the franchise shows a lot of promise with an absolute premise which we think will bring the franchise into a bold new era. This next iteration from the franchise, called Prey, directed by a promising filmmaker in the likes of Dran Trachtenberg, has been in the works for over 5 years, and even though the members of the crew are stating that the filming has wrapped, we still have no actual release date, but we're hopeful that we'll get one very soon. As we know by now, the movie will focus on the first time a Predator vessel made its way to Earth, with Amber Midhunter portraying a young Comanche woman on the path to becoming a warrior. A plotline that heavily implies that the new film will focus on an indigenous American huntress in conflict with the galaxy's apex predator. A fantastic concept for different reasons, all of which will bring some changes to the table. One of the biggest weaknesses of the franchise is the characters. Only the first movie has a couple of recognizable faces, and every film since has starred casts of forgettable fodder. Thus, centering on a strong character and an identifiable quest could bring some real pathos to the series. Midthunder's character could be the Ripley that the Predator series never had, a hero-defining character of the franchise.
That's my new suit, Bubba. I hope they got in there 42 long.
The period and time when the movie will take place is also a very genius idea, especially knowing that the Predator movies can fit in any era and the period from the past. Thus, this next movie could lead to a series of other movies set after it, sometime in the past, probably during some important events. The Predator series could go on from the Comanche period all the way to tangling with ninjas in Japan and popping out throughout the Second World War. The opportunities are endless. This movie could rectify the issue of settings not being the strong suit of the franchise, setting the path for many more interesting Predator appearances on Earth. Prey is a title given to the movie, so it specifically avoids any connection to the larger franchise, with every other movie from the franchise having nearly the same name. Prey is shrouded in mystery, which would allow the audiences for the first time in 3 years to be caught off guard, with the movie's biggest success being to recapture the magic of the original, which we would all like to see. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below what are your thoughts on the Predator franchise so far, and which installment is your favorite and why, and also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.